So you know from Genesis 1:27 that God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And we have the privilege this morning of welcoming Kyla here, and she's going to give testimony to the work of God in her life. Welcome.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. So my name is Kyla. I'm just going to share a brief testimony of what God has done for me. So in 2012, I found myself pregnant by someone who I did not have a relationship with or didn't want a relationship with. Some things, like in school when you do something you're not supposed to do, but you still do it anyway. So I ended up pregnant, and he didn't want anything to do with me. He immediately wanted me to get an abortion. So with me being pregnant and not really knowing where to go or what guidance that I had, I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and get the abortion. So, and then mind you, I had already hid my pregnancy for 4 months. So nobody knew I was pregnant for 4 months. I wasn't going to the doctor, any prenatal care, or anything like that. So he had given me the money for the abortion, and since I was 4 months, I want you guys to imagine a vacuum sucking your baby out of your stomach at 4 months. So since I was 4 months, I would have had gotten the vacuum suction, which in total was maybe $600. So the first appointment, you go get your ultrasound, blood drawn, and things like that. When you walk into Planned Parenthood, it's not like you know how you go into your favorite store and it's a good feeling? Going into Planned Parenthood is like, I gotta come here. There was no one greeting me like everyone here greeted me today. Planned Parenthood, there was no one greeting you. There was a bunch of teenagers in there crying. No one gave them tissue, comfort, or anything. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I ended up leaving, and I thought nothing about it. So months down the line, I had to go to my next appointment, which I would have the abortion. So this is how God works in mysterious ways. When you have an abortion, you have to have someone drive you home. I didn't have anyone to drive me home, and I was about $300 short. And they make you pay before the procedure, so there's no way I would have gotten an abortion without paying. So instead of me getting an abortion, I ended up at Thrive St. Louis. Not sure if you guys are familiar with them, but back then they were called Thrive St. Louis Pregnancy Center. And instead of me getting my abortion, I ended up at Thrive, so I didn't get an abortion. And then Thrive, it was just welcoming, it was beautiful, everyone was greeting me and things like that. So I met with my advocate, Jeannie, which I still talk to today. She sat me down and she let me know that I had options, that God would see me through. He wouldn't put me through anything that I couldn't finish. And she let me know that they had the baby classes, that you get paid for going to baby classes, Bible study, and that if I needed anything, I could come to her. So later down the line, mind you, I didn't have any prenatal care, so my baby wasn't growing. Like, you could barely tell that I was pregnant, and I was almost 7 months. So I had a doctor's appointment, and my daughter wasn't breathing. So the doctor was like, okay, we got 10 minutes. If she don't move, you're gonna have to have an emergency C-section. So I wasn't ready to be a mom. I thought I still had maybe a month left. So anyways, I ended up having an emergency C-section, and Miss Kyla Rose was born 3 pounds, 13 ounces. So she did have to stay in NICU for about 2 weeks, but the trials and tribulations that God has put me through, I'm glad he did, because my plan was to go to Planned Parenthood, but God had a different plan. So my daughter is here today. Can you stand up? She's right here with the red bow on. Give thanks to God, and I especially want to give thanks to Thrive, because for a whole year I didn't pay for Pampers or wipes, thanks to them. And to this day, they still are there for me. Bridget, the president, is my godmom, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to share my testimony. If I at least saved one life, I feel like I've accomplished something. So thank you guys for having me, and that's my testimony.
It's great to hear it's great to hear a testimony of God's goodness, but it's rare that that testimony takes the actual physical form of a beautiful little girl who's sitting right there. I mean, that's amazing. Let's stand and we'll sing to God, giving him all the praise and all the glory for that wonderful testimony.